In the small, tight-knit communities of Idaho and Arizona, few stories have shocked the public as deeply as the tale of Lori Vallow Daybell. Known to the world as the Doomsday Mom, Lori's descent into madness and criminality would become one of the most chilling and confounding criminal cases of the 21st century. What began as a case of missing children soon spiraled into a complex web of murder, religious extremism, and manipulative behavior culminating in the deaths of Lori's two children and her former husband's mysterious passing. Lori Vallow Daybell's story defies logic and comprehension. A woman who seemed to have it all: children, family, a life built around community, was consumed by an ideology that led her to commit the unimaginable. Together with her husband, Chad Daybell, Lori embraced a set of beliefs that led them to abandon their moral compass and take violent actions they believed were part of a divine plan. But what was this plan? And how could a mother, whose primary role should be to protect her children, become the orchestrator of their deaths? The answer lies not just in Lori's actions, but in the extremist beliefs she adopted, the people she surrounded herself with, and the dangerous allure of apocalyptic ideologies that prey on the vulnerable. As this case unfolded, it became clear that the consequences of unchecked religious fervor, delusion, and manipulation were catastrophic. The chilling part of this story isn't just the tragic deaths, but the ideology that drove them and the wider implications of Lori's choices. With the deaths of her two children, Joshua J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan, the collapse of her family, and the twisted nature of her relationship with Chad Daybell, this story has captivated millions, raising questions about faith, morality, and accountability. In this detailed exploration, we will delve into the shocking timeline of events that led to Lori Vallow Daybell's conviction, the manipulation behind her beliefs, the emotional toll it took on the victims' families, and the national conversation that followed. From missing children to public trial, from radical religious beliefs to the final sentencing, we will break down the case in all its complexity. This is the story of the Doomsday Mom, a tale of loss, obsession, and the far-reaching consequences of unchecked extremism. Section 1. The Doomsday Belief and Lori Vallow's transformation. Lori Vallow Daybell's journey into darkness did not start overnight. In fact, her life before meeting Chad Daybell seemed relatively normal. Born in 1973, Lori was a mother of three with a complicated personal history. She had been married twice before meeting Chad, and her personal life was marked by multiple relationships that ended in divorce, while her previous marriages and relationships were troubled. They did not seem to suggest that Lori was capable of the extreme action she would later take. However, everything changed when Lori crossed paths with Chad Daybell, a man who would deeply influence her beliefs and ultimately drive her to commit horrific acts. Chad, a self-proclaimed prophet, had a dangerous obsession with the apocalypse.